I'm going to live trade NQ here. I just saw GBP USD. That was something that I was looking for. I did not trade it, but the reason that it is bouncing because we had those equal lows here. And then I think, yeah, the 4 hourly fair value gap. So, and then you probably had an inversion over here. So that was your long target. Yeah, but let's check NQ here. I was looking for a short like that, but that didn't happen, so just going to delete it. I'll keep this one because if this one inverses, we might just go to the highs here. So this is all liquidity. I still have that minus, I think minus 25 as well. Okay, probably on the weekly. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, hi guys. So this morning I went in a short. The short did good, but my stop loss and profit was hit for the remaining part. So right now we have the liquidity up top here. I was looking for a short just now, but let's see if we can get it. Sorry. So we have the 45-minute fair value gap that I was looking for a reaction of here, back down. We did not receive that, and instead we bounced from the higher, I think it was the higher liquidity level over here. So the high over here, that was where it was bouncing off. So clearly it took out the high and then it just came back to that high to bounce, and you can clearly see it here. Okay, I have another target on the 4 hourly, sorry, that I forgot to mention. This one here, this is a structure. There's a bullish N. The bullish N structure, as you can see, like this. Okay, so I'm looking at the 65 FIB. So if I use the Gravis FIBs, you can see it didn't close below the 1-to-1, it wicked. So that is a valid structure. And now that minus 65 is going to be target. And that's where I will look for a new short if I can get there. So I'm not actively looking to short it now because we did close beyond this hourly. So the target here is liquidity, and we've just took out this one. So let's go to the 1 minute chart and maybe, okay, there is no fair value gap here that I can trade off. So there's no setup on this one right now. Let's check the 2 minute. Nothing. This one reversed here, so the target is that level. So that was a potential scalp trade here for this target. And now it's just waiting for higher, I guess. We have all the liquidity up here. So I was correct on the GBP here, and your entry could have been here. This long. So you see the inversion here, and then it closed above, and then you target the liquidity up here. And I shared this in the previous live stream this morning, and it was fairly easy to see. You had a 4 hourly fair value gap. You take the EQ from that fair value gap, and you long into it below equal lows here. I didn't take it, but yeah, that could have been a very good long. And on the euro, I still think to short this one, because I have a feeling that these equal lows will hit first although it did take it already. You see, you have equal lows here, and then it takes it another time. So I'm not very sure. It could actually, if it closes above this level, we could actually see a pump way higher again. Yeah, that could happen. So I have some options here. I thought maybe this short back down into the fair value gap. Here we have a fair value gap lower. We took that liquidity. So I kind of was looking for this. Let's have a look here. Sorry. So also EQ of that fair value gap, and then this is your liquidity. And here you had the inversion as well. So the setup is easy. Sometimes it was difficult. Till today, it seems that the price action is way more clear. And yesterday I got chopped, and the day before as well. But yeah, if I just took that one long, that's a great setup. But there are millions of that on NQ. So I will just be trading NQ on day trading side. And for Forex, I feel like the 4 hourly is good for setups, and especially the daily for your daily setups. So what can I see here? This is a structure that goes down, which means we take the fib from the top till the bottom. What could happen? Golden pocket. So in my opinion, everything from here till here and here, I guess maybe even that fair value gap will lead to lower. This is the bearish V pattern. It could go here, EQ, or here, but we look for a short lower, in my opinion, towards the low. Okay, that's fairly clear. And if you look on the line chart, you have a structure here. So this is really, really good. If it can bounce towards the structure, then we're looking for a short. So it's actually kind of bullish right now, I would say. If we can close above this daily fair value gap, let's see if we can hit higher. So that's another possibility, and I'm definitely looking for that. So that means that the DXY will go down more until that we hit that level, which means that NQ is still bullish as well for higher. So just going to look for continuation, I guess. Quite choppy. This was your long, that's about it. So you took out the low here, and then you have the inversion here, and then this would have been your long up there. Yeah, but I missed that one, but it's clear. Took out the low, close above, so now you're just reaching higher for liquidity. And have a look at this one as well. Yeah, you can see that on the lower time frames, it's not that clear Forex. Here we have a fair value gap. So it could drop if price moves down, flips this one. Could go down again, but I'm not necessarily thinking about this, but definitely place an alert here, because that gives a setup and then towards your next liquidity level. Hello, Tariq. So you do see clean price action today. If we compare it to the other days, so let's see, and then if it inverses, you have a target here, so that's TP1. Although this is quite a huge fair value gap, so if it doesn't inverse, you might look for a long into this on the 1 minute chart, so you get this all the way down there, and you just go on to the 1 minute chart and you just look for the same setup in this one, and probably has to take and sweep this low, and then you will look, I will look for that one. But I have one account where I will be only trading the NQ, and the others I will just trade on a separate account, because I want to see if I can have if NQ is enough for trading and if it's more consistent. Because Forex was consistent in January, but this week was a bit difficult. So I really want to focus on consistency, and with Forex it's not really giving me, or at least this week it's not really giving me the best trading environment. Or maybe I should just stick to Euro USD and the major ones instead of looking at the minors. But yeah, we did a good trade on NZT Canadian yesterday, a couple of days ago, so that was great. But yeah, consistency is key, and if I cannot get that from Forex, I just look for another way. I think I've been looking to NQ all week, and it just gives me a lot of setups. This one again, very nice setup this morning. Let me just explain you why I shorted. Also easy. Looking at the 10-minute chart yesterday, I told everyone on Twitter, look at this fair value gap here, because if that one inverses, I'm looking for lower. So here I was this morning looking at, we had this fair value gap, okay, and then look what happened here. You have a liquidity level here, and my bias was bearish because we closed below this fair value gap, okay, so we closed below that, and then we have a new fair value gap here, and everyone would say this is an inversion because you inverted right here. But what happened, it took out the first swing high, so you have a left candle here lower and a right candle lower, so this is a swing high. So I thought this is not a very good inversion because we closed below this one and we actually took liquidity already. So I just went on a 2-minute chart then, and the 2-minute chart just gave me the setup. You have a sweep of the high, you have the inversion here, so it closed below, so then I shorted like this. And then of course your target is the low over here, but my first target was here, and that's maybe a lesson for myself. So I took half over here and then placed my stop loss and profit. Mostly, sometimes it will work if there's strong price action. But yeah, it was during and out of peak time. So I guess that's why it was a little bit more choppy, but I should have held my stop loss and then I could have run it all the way down to that previous liquidity level that I marked out here and where it whipped back up. So maybe a little lesson for myself, or well, in peak time you won't probably see it going back, but we'll see. If that happens again, then I will just take my risk for the stop loss. So I will take half here, but then for the other half I will leave my stop loss, if that makes sense. Because otherwise you're left with low profit, and that's not really the best way as well. Here, there's nothing you can see. There's no setup. I would have looked for the same thing if you had the fair value gap here and it inversed, and you look for the sweep of the equal lows here. You can clearly see equal lows, so that's probably where we are heading right now. Let's see. I guess that's the attraction here, and then maybe bounce back. We'll see. I think we should look at Euro here. Yeah, so that is a potential move. I know that I'm looking for lower if this can inverse, so that's your low of the fair value gap, and you have to zoom out to the last singular fair value gap. So that's probably on the 5-minute. Yeah, so This is on the 5 minutes. So we look if it can bounce. If it bounces here, I'll just delete that one. On the 1 minute. If it bounces here, you have no setup yet. You have this fair value gap. And then if this one inverses, you have a target of this high. So that wouldn't be the best trade unless it just goes way higher. The other trade is that it closes below, and then you have to look at this level, but we are already moving towards that level. So there's nothing that I can do here. But the same thing, if it closes, your first target is this one. But you never know if it's going to be a runner or not. Because I have that potential possibility for lower here. Because that's the equal lows again. An open fair value gap. Now you have one here. So now you have to go on the 2 minute chart. Nothing, 3 minute chart. Just a big gap. So we do have this fair value gap. And now my question is, did the 5 close already? Not yet, so it has 2 more minutes. So it can still bounce and just move higher if we inverse this one. But then you have another one here. So you gotta take the trade here and hope it doesn't reject here and it goes towards the target. But yeah, just going for that target right now. Another tap of equal lows. So here you have double equal lows. This will most likely be taken. And if not, then that would be very nice if we just take out this and then all the way back to take out the equal lows. So we got a setup here then. I'm going to trade MNQ because the contracts are lower. Okay, so 2 minutes. 5 minutes is going to close. And it did close below, but it already took out this liquidity level. So this is not really the best way to short this unless we have a 10-minute fair value gap. We do have that. We do have this one. So this is your last one, but still 5 minutes to close. And then your target would be here, and you have this one too. So maybe look at this one if it goes below. That's going to be another fair value gap. Okay. I think I'm going on a lower time frame to look for a bounce. This one. Just make it a bit cleaner. So we took out this one, we have 2 left. Equal lows, equal highs, delete that one, and delete that one. Okay. Okay, so I definitely notice this one, and I will notice this fair value gap if it's created. And then that would be nice if we inverse that, but maybe let's take liquidity first, we'll see. Otherwise, I'm not really keen on shorting this because it didn't really grab too much liquidity. It still needs to form. So here we have the grab of liquidity. Yeah, so you're looking at this fair value gap. If this one inverses, we might go towards this level, although we have a couple of fair value gaps left, which means that it can always reject. So it's better to have a singular fair value gap. And then you have to go to the 5 minute, wait for the close here, and then you have this huge gap, which means that it's either going to be very explosive or that it will reject here for lower again. So it's not the best setup. So this one will close. So leave that one on your chart, because that will be important for future trades. Let's push it higher first. Now I'm looking at this 2 minute. I'm not an NQ, I do not have a trade now. I'm waiting for, let's just say, inverse this for short. If we can grab some more liquidity, and then I hope that there will be another fair value gap here, something like that, inverse, and then we can target the equal lows. Maybe, but I'm not really looking for, that's something that might happen. So I'm not shorting, not longing right now. The long was here, it took out the low here, and then you see this inversion. It closed above, so we target this high, and then it just came back to the fair value gap, created equal lows, and now it's continuing for more liquidity higher. And I still have this one as my target. Does the 4-hourly bearish, bullish in pattern towards the -65. That would be nice. And then eventually I will target this, the equal lows here. And then euro, if it closes, you could potentially have a trade, although it's not a singular fair value gap. So you will have to take profit at the EQ of this one at least, and then hope for this. You just place your stop loss and profit, and that's a potential setup, but it's not A plus. And you have to look at the 3 minute actually, because that's the last singular. Yeah, the 3 minute. So the 3 minute has to close above, and then you can look for the EQ, potentially liquidity here. Unless that happens, I'm looking for lower. The 3 minute chart. And then you have a potential setup like this. I would place stop loss here. And then this is your first target, place stop loss and profit, and then this is your next target. What did the 10, although the 10-minute did close below it, so the 10-minute is actually bearish, looking for the fair value gap here or the low here. Unless it is a failure of the inversion, which seems to be the case. I am ready to potentially take a long. As I'm really waiting for this one to inverse. But this seems like it might close like this, and then you're just looking for higher. So I don't really think I will long euro. I think it will just move lower again. So I'm not really keen on taking this, because you have this fair value gap left, a huge one where it can definitely tap into and then reject for lower. It depends though. Yeah, I don't think that this will move higher. I think the XY will go up more. So here you have a close. This will most likely drop, but the problem is that this is your first target. So this is TP1, so it's not an A+ trade. Although you could, if you're bearish biased, then this could happen, but I'm not really sure what my bias is right now. But it is a potential trade, but I don't like it. I don't really like the way. Yeah, I don't like the setup, because here you have TP1 already. And now we have equal highs here. I could be bearish biased. I know if I enter this one that it might end up in a loss, but I kind of do want to try it. I don't know. Maybe give it a try. I don't really know what to do here. Because the target is so close, but then again, I am a bit bearish. Okay, so there you go. It flipped, but you did not have an entry as well because it didn't close above. This might just run towards liquidity. Yeah, there was no way of entering, only blindly thinking that this will be a liquidity grab. Even here, it wasn't. So my direction was kind of good. It was a liquidity grab, but you did not have time to enter. I don't know, I really want to short this. But you have one more left here, so maybe if this one closes below, you could potentially have a short like this. I don't know, I would be looking at this maybe. This will push down. Equal lows. So because of the equal lows, I might take a small entry, but I'm not sure if it will continue lower. It might just bounce here up again, then down, so it's not really good. So this, if we have a close like this, I would like to take an entry. But it seems that it will not close like this. No. Why not? I'm not taking this, but with those equal lows here, I do think that it will just purge, but then we have this 3 minutes. Yeah, I know I should not think about this one. Although I think that DXY will rise. It might have been a mistake not taking this one. Let's say that the 3 minutes closes, then I will enter. Probably like 15. I don't know. I might take that one. It closes inverse FEG short. Not sure if I have time enough to share this. So then you have TP1. $3 minutes, that means we have 1 minute left. It's a small fair value gap, so I'm not sure. And then your target would be here. But it's not happening right now. Let's see. I have my eyes on it though. 15, that would be. And here, this is what they call a BPR. So you have fair value gap, and then it moved back into that fair value gap. So you might look for a short in that here like this, and then we can invert this for lower maybe. Okay, you see this? So I have the EQ here. And it could reject like that, and maybe you can get an entry here and then look for this one. So going back onto the 1 minute and maybe look for an inversion here. You have the same thing. You have this one inversed, so you look for the highs here. Equal highs are taken, so you have to look for those setups. No entry right now. You see why one good idea to short the equal lows? Because of this fair value gap. So it was a good reason that I didn't short it. But now we have the BPR EQ. So I go back into the 1 minute. I'm not in any position. I'm just thinking out loud about DXY as well. I don't know. It bounced from this inversion daily fair value gap. See? So if this does not inverse, then you should be looking for higher. Definitely if we close above this one on the 4 hourly, so within half an hour, if we can close, then it will most likely reach for higher. If it doesn't, then it will most likely go down again. So then we could look for the inversion here, and this is still a potential inversion like that, and then we look for TP1 here. But also we have to wait, so I have my eyes on both. So equal lows are taken, and here you have another fair value gap. Which means if it can close above, then we are looking for the equal highs here. There are equal highs here, so this can give a new setup too. Yeah, that's happening. And maybe for higher. Stop loss will be here. That is a trade though. But it's too close again, so I'm not really taking it. This is too close, although I know that it will most likely just reach for higher now. I'm not taking this because of the wicks here and because this one is too close. But it is a setup, and I would take it like that. But it's bad RR as well. It doesn't really trust it because we took liquidity already. This was a previous daily high and it didn't really expand higher. So if this would have been here and then we have the setup, then I would look for a long, but we didn't really expand higher. So I'm not taking this one. But I will still be looking for this one to inverse here. So this maybe. Okay, so we did not close yet. So on the 1 minute here, we have an inversion here. But we're so close towards those equal highs that I'm not sure if I want to take it. Unless these equal highs stay that way and we just move down and then we come back up later. Let's look at this one. And I might potentially take the short if we inverse it. Price action is a bit choppy again. Then it has to invert the third one as well to eventually reach for that one. We gotta wait for an A plus setup. So what happened here, we took liquidity, then it went into the BPR. So you can see the fair value gap here, fair value gap here. So it went into the BPR. And it rejected this fair value gap again for lower, which means the XY is running, which means that this will probably close beyond this one, which means that we are looking for higher. So DXY would be bullish. And that's why I want to short NQ if this one inverses. Although it's not the best setup. It's not an A plus setup, so you can go big on it. If it closes, you need to close, and then I look for TP1 in here. Liquidity, TP1, and TP2 there. So we have movement. Need to close. Need to close. Which is still 1 minute and a half. So I'm thinking about taking an early short, but I know that's not the best decision. So I've gotta wait, gotta wait. I will take 15. So that's 25. Yeah, let's take 15. Let's share it in Discord because I'm going to take this one. Okay, I'm just going to take this one and then place my stop loss right here. Okay. We'll see. I know there's equal highs above, so that's not the best. But yeah, it's all I can see for now. So this is TP1, so that's where I take first half of my profit. I'm not entirely sure because of the equal highs up top here. But yeah, it's a trade. Gotta take it. And this inversion failed, so close back below. Seems like it's going for equal highs. Let's see. Kind of just want that these equal highs are left behind so that it can go lower and later on it can break those. But that's a bit wishful thinking. But that's not the best reaction, of course. And the other way of looking at this is that we just push through, grab even more liquidity, and then look for the inversion. So and I do want to short it if the 4 hourly closes like this. Yeah, this one is most likely hitting stop, I guess. Due to the equal highs up top here. So I knew that was the risk that I was willing to take. Yeah, this will fail though. I don't really think that this won't push through now. It will likely push through. Really nice equal highs though. Yeah. So you see why it wasn't the best setup because of the equal highs here, so gotta wait. Yeah, so stopped out. Gotta wait for the equal highs. So next is this level here. So if you look at this inversion, it did work out eventually. Closed above, and then it just came back into liquidity zone. And now it wants to push through. But my bias was bearish, so that was wrong. Equal highs are now taken. And then we have the .65 here, that would be nice. So here, that setup here, the inversion here, most will place the stop loss like that, so it's best to just place it below liquidity if you're taking those. Why does this one work and why the other one not? The one that I took, because it took liquidity actually. So you see the equal lows here, took liquidity and then inverse this one. So it's my mistake to think that this one will actually be inverted lower, because here it didn't take any liquidity. This one did not take that liquidity. So that's my mistake. I made the mistake because I thought that we are bearish biased, because this one will most likely reach for higher. But yeah, like you see, the best trades are just the ones that grabs liquidity. So it grabs equal lows, it inverted, and then it just keeps going. But now the same thing could happen, because we are all-time high again. So let's have a look. Delete it, delete this one, delete everything right now, and just see what happens. So now we did take liquidity. Go to the 2 minutes. Do we see something? No. We have the 3 minutes. Full force ahead. Here you had an actual long as well, so it grabs liquidity long. So it's super easy, but it's important that it grabs liquidity like this, and that was my mistake. It didn't. So let's wait for the next setup, because now I am looking to short, because we took all the liquidity. And we are close towards a -65. So if it can push, hit that -.65, then I will look for a short. And have a small one here. still have equal lows from yesterday over here, like clean equal lows. Eventually I want to just see this, bam, maybe on CPI next week. Interesting if this one closes below the 4-hourly fair value gap, then it will likely continue down. And this long might still happen. We have the close, but it's really soft, so I'm not entering this. Want to see that hit. Could potentially move, it's not clean. Do have the order block here. So this might actually do continue higher. At least to this TP1, I guess. Maybe the bit higher. I'm not taking it because I'm only trading NQ for now. But that would be a setup. We did grab liquidity. Yes, NQ is difficult, but in the past week I did see many setups, inversion setups work, and it was like here again. I don't even know why I took the short here, because it was really clean. You have the grab of liquidity and then you have the inversion. So it inverted right here. You had a close, so you just look for this one. Even if it taps back into this OB here, it was a clear long and not a short. So I need to be focused, and if it grabs liquidity, inverts, and you're close at equal highs, then it's just likely that it will reach equal highs. So I don't know why I made that short. It was so clean. But now we are in a liquidity zone at minus 65. So just wait for the setup for a small short again. But yeah, there are, just to show you, there are like this morning it was a very good trade on the inversion. Then yesterday, here you had equal lows, and then on 2 minutes, sorry, here it took out equal lows, so it takes out liquidity, and then you have the same setup again. So then it closes above and it just pushes through. But it's really important that it sweeps liquidity. And it's happened again today and this morning. So I cannot afford to short this. Why would I short this? But okay, it happened. And this one I'm not entirely sure because it's very small, and I'm waiting for the close here, and I think it will just push through. Looking at this wick, so it's not really best. Not really the best long, I guess. It's a setup, but it already tried once and it didn't happen. So why would it happen right now? So yeah, it could though, but if it doesn't happen the first time, it means that it has trouble. So it will likely, I guess, continue down, which, and here the wick is, I don't know if it's closes below. It seems that it will close below. We still have news. 5:30. So it did close below. With the wick here, that's quite a wick. I think I will just try and go there again. So you have a small 5-minute fair value gap. And then you have a bigger one. But I would like to see if it can hit that -.65. So we need a singular fair value gap. So currently that's the singular one. Yeah, so currently we have the 10-minute as a big singular fair value gap. And I don't know if this one inverses like that, then we are looking for this one. I don't know if it's good, this shorts, because we're all-time high. I don't really want to, you don't really know where it's going. Maybe I'll try. So you see this one is working now. And it seems that we have higher high, and on the ES we have lower highs, so that is nice to see. That means you have a divergence. It's not really a chart that you want to trade. But if we look here, this inversion, I do have equal highs. Oh, and this one is already also the same thing. It didn't make a higher high. It's only NQ that it's very strong. I might take a small short if this one inverses. So that it follows YM. But again, it's not the best trade, so I won't be going big. I won't really recommend it, but I think that we potentially had the setup right here for YM. If you go on to the 1 minute chart, maybe the 5, you had a small fair value gap here and it closed below. So it didn't close yet. And here we have equal highs. Even here. So that is a reason not to short yet. So I see this one is pushing now, so we do have the inversion. We did take liquidity, but it tried for a second time, so I'm not in the trade, but I am targeting TP1 and maybe even higher. But I don't really trust it because it's the second time that it inverts. So the first time it didn't happen. And on DXY left a huge wick, but closed below. So we do not have the inversion here, which means that it could potentially drop. So I would rather take a euro long instead of shorting NQ. Although we have the SMT, like they say. think within half an hour we have some news here. So I could potentially make a quick short if we close, but I don't think that it will. Could just keep continuing higher and higher because my actual target is going to be 18k. That's a psychological number. We have the minus 0.65 there, and I think we have, yeah, a bit higher, we have the minus 0.25, and that's on the weekly. And I really think that this one will hit at least the psychological 18k. So even if you try and short this because of the SMT, it is a trade, but again, it's not A plus, and we still have this major fair value gap. So if I trade, I will just go lower in size, maybe like 7. But it's not the best price. We did close. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure, but I'm willing to take a small short again. I'm not sure. I did go half risk only. Because like I said, it's just because of the SMT with the ES maybe. But it's not the best setup. The best one was earlier that long, so now you're just shorting on the higher time frames when it just hit all-time high, but we did grab liquidity. We are close at minus 65. We have the SMT divergence, so small trade. And then we still have this one to flip. So if this one actually inverses, then we will reach the low here. So yeah, it will most likely get stopped out as well. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. It's small. And we are bouncing from previous high as well. So like I said, it's a really risky trade. But what else? Okay, here we have liquidity level. And if we have a fair value gap here, that would be better. If we have a fair value gap here and we inverse that, then you're looking for equal lows there. So that's basically a good setup. That's what you should be looking for. A grab of liquidity, flip fair value gap towards equal lows. If that happens, I might add to my position. Now we do have this one. And let's see on the 1 minute. I'll add just like a 7 again. And then change the stop to the high over here. So that is the setup. You have the liquidity grab. You have a small fair value gap. It's really small, so it's not, again, if it was bigger, it would be better. But then you have a setup. We have equal lows, so that's nice. Even if it goes higher now, this will hit soon, so maybe that minus .65 then. So here, and then equal lows, and maybe towards the minus .5. That would be nice. We are taking liquidity. Let's see, so another 7 then. Come on, push it down. No, didn't happen. Didn't happen. Gotta wait. Could just move like this. But I do like it if it could happen. So inverse FEG short. That is basically a short. I think it will happen though. So you have this short here. I'll just, so 10 seconds. Yeah, I cannot even share this on X if it happens. And again, it did not close, so we gotta wait. Didn't happen. Gotta wait. I would just add 7 more contracts to it. Still didn't happen, but now it might. Yeah, maybe I'll just go and add a bit. Just going to place this one here. Could still fail, so it's risky, but I have another stop loss. I have a stop loss here now, so it doesn't really matter. So I reduced my risk, and the EQ here would be a target. We have those equal lows, so I'm going to place a limit, not 14. Yeah, we'll just mark it sell there. Limit 7 units. 17,867. 8. We did close now, so 17,867. That would be a long. Now I will just probably place my stop loss and profit, and let's see. This is valid. You see, we took out, I'm just going to show it here. We took out liquidity. We flipped fair value gap, although it's a small one, and we have equal lows here. So this is a valid short in my opinion. At least a better short than the previous one. Yeah, that's a good take profit. It's the equal lows that make this or confirms this one more. Now we just gotta hope that it will reach that -0.5 and doesn't grab liquidity again and move higher. But I feel this is a good setup because of the equal lows here. And it's like really clean. If it doesn't, then it reaches here. We look for the same setup over here because we have some equal highs. And then I will just look for that one here and then move down. But let's see what it does right now. A Euro DXY, nothing. Bad reaction again. Or I place it still here, but I'm not really don't really trust it to place here. We have equal highs up there, so I'm out again. But we do have equal lows here now. It was a good setup, better than the previous one. It's just so strong. Might not be the best to short this one. If it now works out, then that would be sad. It seems so. This will be my last one for now if this one doesn't work. But it's the same thing. The close here. It took out the equal highs. that this one is now happening. I do want to say that this was a better setup. This short is just the bias that was wrong. But if you see this and it takes liquidity and you have equal lows below and it flips that fair value gap, then that's a good short. Although it's not the biggest fair value gap, that's maybe the reason that why it didn't work. But yeah, I still see the equal lows and we took liquidity now. We are at all-time high, close at minus of 65. I'm trying to not think why I wouldn't really short it. We have the SMT as well. And I think it might just all work out. I've been stopped out for nothing if I just place my stop loss here. But yeah, that's something. So I think I will just last try. This is definitely my last try, but I just feel that we are moving towards that one. I could be stopped out again, so do not follow this, but yeah. So here again, I want my limits 7. That's 17,867, 17,867. Oh, there we go. And take 7 already. And then I will move this one to profit. Okay, so finally we did one. I knew it would happen. And now just look out if we do not get stopped out, because you see why it bounced here, why I would take that profit here. And I'm not sure, it might just continue. Maybe bad to place this one and profit, but we'll see. I just knew that the equal lows here would hit. It just went a bit higher, so I just placed my stop loss. Yeah, not really well. Let's see if we can continue. I hope that it doesn't hit my stop loss before continuing lower, but I won't change it because of the loss. And it could just happen though. This is why I take half out here, because of the EQ. Now I'm just hoping for a runner that would lead to profit today. Okay, but a clean example. We take out equal highs, we inverse this one. So I entered here because I thought it would drop because of the equal lows. What was wrong here? The equal highs up top here. So I shorted this one with the equal highs up top, meaning that it should take out this one first and then drop. So yeah, but you gotta make mistakes. If you keep trading it, you see you can make profit, but you gotta be certain that the mistakes you make, that you just know and write it down or something, that it doesn't happen again, although it will keep happening most likely. But yeah, try to read it better, because I didn't read it well enough. But yeah, here we go. We are dropping. There's some mistake that I made. Mm, yeah, I think it could continue lower, but I don't really want to risk it back here. But if you see this fair value gap, it might just hit the EQ and then go down. But I'm not going to risk it. I don't really trust this price actually, even making sure that this is definitely a profitable trade. Although I don't know, shorting is not really the best, it seems. But you see why I was looking at this level as a take profit, the EQ. Oh, might not continue. It might be a mistake to have my stop loss and profit, but I really don't want to risk it. And I really need to pee actually. So I will just see how this one pans out, and then I will leave the live stream. And I hope it was a good one education wise, because I did make some mistakes which I should not have made. And I explained you why. The mistake here for shorting this, why we took liquidity here and inversed that one with equal highs up top. You shouldn't be shorting that one. So this is a good learning. And then here, of course, we had equal highs on top. Shorting this with equal lows, it was a good short, and I was right because of the equal lows, but placing a stop loss here wasn't good, and the equal highs should be taken first, and then you had the inversion here. So it's not a scam, but you gotta learn from the mistakes that I made. So here we are, and I'm out. It's nothing big, but if I took that one, that would have been a very good trade. And the mistake here was really stupid, so we should learn from that. And now we do have this inversion right here. But I don't want to long this because we are beyond the high now. And it might reject. So for another long, it should inverse here, but it's not good if you are beyond liquidity or just close by. We didn't really push through yet. So I don't know, maybe it could just reject this and just go lower. That's not really a trade that I take, but I do not. think that it will keep rising, although we don't know. With DXY, I think I should short this again, but it's not really a setup that I take. I think I would burn my hands again if I would short this. So it's not the setup, wouldn't short. I probably will short, but I probably shouldn't. But I don't know, I don't think that I can keep going here. Okay, so the 15-minute is which we should be looking at for a big short. If that one flips bearish, we took liquidity. So then you're looking for the low here, and the low there. So that would be the better setup if you want to short this one again. Here like this, something like that. I guess that would be, and in best case, it drops all the way down towards still equal lows. And I still see those like so clean. And that's why I want to short this again, but your entry would be a close below the 15-minute. That's a clear short. You grab liquidity, you flip the 15, and you have the targets there. What will I do? Probably try and short this again. Why not? Would not recommend it. Maybe if this one flips. Another reason why I want to is if the XY rises, but it isn't. If the XY would rise now, I would be glad to short it. Or at least I would be more comfortable if the 4-hourly closed above. So then you have the inversion here, but right now it closed below. That's the fair value gap. So maybe if it retraces back at the EQ. See, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm just going to blindly short this one. I don't know if that's the right decision, but I see the rejection here, and I would not recommend it yet until the 15-minute flips, which would be this one. So I would short this. If it closes. I'm not sure if this is the right decision now. I'm really not sure, but this would be TP1 then. TP2. And last but not least, TP3. And maybe equal those. I just kept those on the chart because eventually we might hit it. But for now, I wouldn't really enter until we flip that 15-minute chart. So I did, but it's not, I wouldn't really recommend it. Just trying it early, but the trade would be a close below fair value gap. Everything else is risky. It did close below here, so that is good. Although we did not take out liquidity like we did here. So here we did take out the high, and then we flipped this fair value gap. So that was a good one. And here it doesn't really grab liquidity, although I see this as a liquidity zone as well. You have some wicks. Given this setup, I'm looking to take half here. I could be totally wrong, and we could still be going higher. Like this. If we inverse this fair value gap, as we did, take out the low here. like I said, this is not an official trade. I wouldn't recommend. Only if we flip 15-minute, then I would recommend it, because we did grab liquidity. We have the 15-minute fair value gap. This would be a really nice setup. What I'm doing now, being already short, I'm anticipating this, although this is the win rate of anticipating. The setup is not great. So we'll probably get stopped out though, because of the power of NQ. Actually on the 5-minute already. I just can keep continuing. It can just keep going higher. So risk shorting here is super risky. Unless we have the flip, I wouldn't short it. So if you cannot afford it, do not short. Because we see those equal, I see those equal highs here as well again. So likely those will be hit. This one inverses. Then could still hit here, then go down, or it just continues higher. Or something like this, that it takes out the equal highs, makes a setup again to then short. So maybe if you have a setup here, so Euro did work out. This is what I say with the setup. Grabs liquidity and then it flips the fair value gap, and this is your long. So this was your long. This one did work out. This one will just likely continue. And it could keep continuing. It seems that way. But because of the grab of liquidity here, I did want to short it again and potential 15 minutes. But yeah, you can see it's really, really bullish. Okay, so I will end the stream now, and the only trade that you should be looking at is the inversion of the 15-minute time frame. Unless this does not inverse, we are looking for higher. Okay, eventually we will reach the equal lows here again, and I hope that this happens when this closes. I think it might just happen next week on CPI, and for now this stands out to me. So if this does not happen, you should wait with shorting. And DXY is still moving down as well, so maybe if it hit the EQ of this fair value gap and it can continue higher, then it will be a good short. Unless this one flips, then it will be, NQ will be going way higher still. So here you have the potential of the inversion again. This would be a long if close towards these highs, because you have the grab of liquidity. Clean equal highs. All right, so this was a live stream. It was not the best price action. A couple mistakes, one good trade. This one will probably get stopped out as well. It was a blind short, like I said, anticipating the 15-minute, but that won't happen. And the minus 65 is still a target. So here you did get the inversion, same thing, it grabs liquidity, it inverts, and then this is your target price 1, equal highs, and now it will just push through, and you don't really know where it will stop until the 15-minute here flips into resistance. Then we will see lower. Right now it will just continue higher. I don't think that it will move down. Euro DXY is weak. There's no reason for NQ to move down. But do look at the FEG here. No, it's just too powerful, I guess. It's just not worth shorting. It's like a crypto in a bull market. It will continue. This price action is too bullish, but I will place an alert here, and if this one inverts, then I'll short. But for now, this was your long again. So these setups really do well if the bias is correct. So you long here, you have the inversion, inversed fair value gap, and here you have that trade. If you just trade with the trend, this was your trade. Equal highs, and here you take half and place your stop loss and profit at the inversion. So if you can find these, and you know that we will go higher and higher and higher, yeah, now you don't really know where it will go. So that's why I was shorting it, but I don't really think that I will get lucky here. So here it was super clean as well. Grabs liquidity, flips the fair value gap, closes above, and this is your long. So I was looking at this, but I said I didn't really want to enter because it's the second time. It doesn't really matter. You can see that it doesn't matter. If it grabs liquidity, flips the fair value gap, you just enter the long. And I would place stop loss below the last low, and then you just continue. This is a setup. I'm already short. And I will not add because it's too risky. But if it closes like this, you took out equal highs. We closed below, but we are trading against the trend. So if it closes like this below, where is the target? Yeah, equal lows here. So I might still be in luck, not sure. Equal lows here, and place that stop loss like that. You still have 10 seconds normally. It should close like this. I'm not adding because I don't trust it. It just could keep going, but here you go. This would be an entry. But you've seen previously, if it doesn't really take out the actual high, it's not the best trade, but it is an entry like this. So here we had the same thing and it didn't work. Let me show you. Here it took out the high over here, and then you had the inversion. So it closed below, but it never reached for equal lows. What happened? It took out the actual high, equal highs here, and then it flipped this fair value gap, and then it does work. So here it does not take out the actual high, but we do have the equal highs. And actually the target would be here. The first one would be, sorry, you have to look on the 2 minute. The next, yeah, it would be here. Equal lows, TP1. It's not an A plus setup, but it is something. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend it because we didn't take out this high. this one here. So it's not the best setup. And we need to close below the 15 minutes. See that it's really not the best setup if you don't really take out real liquidity like here, like that, then the flip, then it does work. We'll see, but here that would have been a very nice trade. Everyone that was in the stream, I said that I wanted to enter, but I didn't really trust it because it was the second time it tried to flip. But yeah, you just have to enter. If it grabs liquidity, you have to enter. So I'm back break even. I will do this because I don't trust. I don't want to be trapped if it pushes higher. And if you were in this one, take half, play stop loss and profit. This is your target, equal lows. And I will probably I will just probably do the same. Even though I had like a shitty entry. 7 units. 17866. 17866. That won't give me too much profit in it. I just 17864. 17864. 7 units. Markets limits. 17864. 7. Went really close. It's touching some liquidity. If you're in, place that stop loss and profit, because not exactly sure. There you go. Take half profit here. I should do the same. I would just mark it 7 and change this, but need to change my 7 as well. 8, sorry, to 8. Oh, come on. So that was your trade. Good one. There you go. So you see how it works? That was really nice. Took out equal highs, inverted, close below. That was really nice textbook. So you place that stop loss and profit. Mine will probably hit because it's too close, and I think it will just likely just consolidate here and do some stuff. So we did have two nice shorts at the end of the stream, two bad shorts in the beginning. Gotta learn from those. And then I will just wait for the 15-minute to flip, and that might be another trade. But now I'm not sure. Equal lows is hit, TP1 is hit. We wait for this one. It will probably hit because we have the EQ here. If you are still in, you place that stop loss and profit as well, but you have a better entry than mine. So I would place it like here. I'm probably out. Yeah, so I'm out. And you'll probably be out too. So that is why you take half profit at TP1. So equal lows here. Don't really matter if I'm out. I will just wait for the 15-minute then to re-enter. Okay, that was it for now. Two good trades, two bad trades. One that I shouldn't be taking, and I should have been taking this one. And one that actually took out the internal liquidity here, and we had equal highs on top. So I will be back tomorrow on another stream, and I will update you if I short the 15-minute chart.